I will be drawing a still life with these three objects that I grabbed. From my viewpoint, it's going to look a little different from yours, but I will show you when I'm finished and you'll be able to see a little better. So I grabbed my succulent plant because I love succulents. This is a bottle of peppermint oil because I get migraine headaches a lot, and peppermint oil helps with those headaches. And then lastly is my wedding ring on top. So I'm just going to start sketching out my objects, and this drawing practice and project is not focused on drawing as much as it is on the elements of art and the principles of design. So if your drawing doesn't look great, that's okay, right? We are going to work on drawing a lot more later. I just wanted to start with the elements of art and principles of design. So as I draw, I will list out some of the elements of art and principles that I am drawing, and you are to take note of those things. So first of all, I have line. It's kind of hard to draw something if you do not have line. It is possible, but we're not gonna get too far into that. So line, for sure. I'm gonna have a combination of some curved lines, and I have some, I'll definitely have straight lines with the bottle of peppermint. And I have these organic lines coming in. I have shape. Another one is shape. I've already got my container drawn that my succulent is in. So there's shape. Remember that a shape is a enclosed line, a two-dimensional area that has an enclosed line. So right now I have lots of shapes because they are all enclosed. Okay, as I'm finishing up my succulent, my little plant here, I'm gonna add in where the dirt is. And I'm gonna add some texture as well. Texture is another element of art. My succulent has little white dots on its leaves, so I'm just gonna draw in those dots. Trying to mimic the texture that this plant has, so that when you look at it, you could see the texture that it has, even though you can't feel it. Some of them don't have as many dots as others. Notice that I haven't really erased either. I know I said we weren't going to focus on drawing, but I think this helps us not focus on drawing as much too, if we don't worry too much about the mistakes and we just draw. We just let our pencil do its thing and follow what we tell it to do. Okay, almost done with this little plant here. A couple more dots up there. All right, so I'm pretty much finished with the succulent. I'm gonna move on to my next object right here. Comes about here. Just the top of the bottle. I don't know if you can see very well. Okay, I'm getting about to the bottom of my, I'm gonna move my paper up a little so you can see. Try not to mess up where I have positioned my objects so that my viewpoint doesn't change. And we'll talk about that again more next week. All right, as I'm adding in a second one, I'm also creating the illusion of space because this bottle is definitely not larger than the plant. So we can tell that it takes up less space. This also applies to the principle of scale or proportion. This helps us see how big things are in accordance with each other. So we know this bottle, this could be a very large plant. We are not quite sure yet. So this bottle could be pretty big too. But when I add in my ring here, then we'll be able to see kind of what size it really is. Because we know that these rings are not huge. We know the size of rings. Everyone basically has almost the same size of finger. There's no giants with their fingers on. All right, so there's that. So now we have some scale. We can kind of see how big things are. Make that a little bit wider. Okay. Now I think I'm gonna add color. Color is an element of art. See if I can get this whole word to fit on here. I think I'm gonna run out of space. I'm trying to do block letters because the sign behind it is the teal color, not the letters. Oh yeah, got them on a fit. Okay, and then I'll color in behind it. So I have color. Color is a good way to add emphasis. So depending on what I color, I could have different emphasis on my artwork. Right now, this is standing out a lot because it is the only thing colored. But if I go in and I add some more colors, it won't stand out as much. And maybe I want it to stand out. Maybe I'm just gonna color one thing. That's totally fine. You can have emphasis by doing that. I don't think I'm gonna shade this one in. I can just outline it. This is another line. Another way to use line. And I think my drawing has unity as well. Maybe not unity in the types of objects, you know, a plant, some oil, and a ring. It's kind of random. But it has unity in their shape. They're mostly all organic. They're round shapes. I don't really have many straight shapes. I mean, the side of the bottle is straight, but it's still a round bottle, and you can tell that it's round because of the way that I drew it. So they all have similar shape, organic round shapes. And I think there's variety as well. Variety as well as unity, because they are so different. So that adds some variety to the drawing. My artwork isn't quite balanced. Maybe if it were a little more centered, it might be balanced. But because I have this extra piece on the right, it kind of needs to be scooted over a little bit. This is kind of in the center, but that's okay. Your artwork doesn't have to be in the center to be balanced. I could have drawn this plant super big and taken up maybe this much of the page, and then drawn a big peppermint bottle, and my ring was really big too. All of it could be so much bigger, and it could have been even like twisted a certain direction, and it could have still been balanced. All right, so I think I hit quite a few principles and elements there. That is going to wrap up my video and my drawing.